My name is Kian Gozari. Can you guys all hear me okay? Perfect, perfect. Okay, cool. I'm here to talk to you today about getting the absolute best results out of China, whether that's getting better pricing, better factories, better terms, anything like that. So my personal experience, I've sourced over 2,500 products from China. I've lived and worked there for the last 10 years, and I've set up a couple of offices there as well. So I'll give you a quick background about myself, and then we'll go into the value of the presentation. But just by a quick show of hands, can you guys tell me like who's sourced from China before? Okay, cool. So a lot of people. And of you guys, how many of you guys have actually been to China yourself? Okay, cool. So there's a good mixed group in the room. So here we go. My first point is about product usage. So I got started off in a family business, camping and outdoor. So absolutely every single product that I was developing, I was testing myself. So whether it was a backpack, I was going to the top of the hills and I was using it. If it was a tent, I was pitching it. If it was a sleeping bag, I was sleeping in it. And that's the first tip I would give you guys. No matter what product you're developing, even if it's a coffee mug, then drink 5 cups of coffee out of it. Make sure your product is fit for purpose, because no one's going to test that product any harder than yourself. You're going to be your own toughest critic. These are a couple more pictures. These are actually in Scotland. I'm from Edinburgh, Scotland. That's my hometown. So if you guys are ever interested, give me a shout and we can go hiking. So this particular one, the Ben Nevis rucksack, I developed this because I set out to develop the best camping and outdoor backpack ever. And it got picked up by Trail Magazine a couple of years ago, and it won Best Value Rucksack. But why I want to draw attention to this one is that it got put against the test of the best. So this backpack retails at £115. I don't think you can see it from there. And then Deuter and Osprey are £190, £200, almost double the price. But if you look at the score, we got 4.2, they got 4.0, 3.4, 3.6. So not only have we half the price, but we've also got better value. And this purely just comes down to very, very good sourcing, working with the best factories, developing products in the best way, which is what I want to discuss with you guys today. So one of the models I like to use is what I call the 365-day model. So this is essentially your 365 days in the year. Now, you have to have a product in your range. Let's take the Ben Nevis backpack, which is capable of climbing to the top of Mount Everest. But you're in a 365-day year, you're only going to probably spend about 5 days at the top of Mount Everest. So that's like your 5-day product. Then your 60-day product is like your weekends, your camping chair. That's going to be your Saturday and Sunday item. And then your 300-day products are like your Monday to Friday, going to work. You need the waterproof to get there. Now, why I draw attention to this is that the 300-day products by far outsell the 5-day products by about 100 to 1. But you need the 5-day products in your range to help sell the 300-day products. So the best example I can give of this is North Face, the brand. They're very, very good at aspirational marketing. If you go into any North Face store, you'll see a big poster of a guy jumping out of a helicopter, snowboarding down a mountain. But 90% of the products in which they sell are just t-shirts and hoodies because they're selling that lifestyle. So you can also do the same with your products. Put a product in your range, even if the sales numbers are low, but just add value and credibility to your brand. Some of the brands and companies I've worked with, Olympic Games, United Nations, Ministry of Defense, as Matt said, I'll give you a quick run through of my experiences with these guys and then how that relates to China. So these are just some other retailers and brands that I've worked with, and then some other stores. The cool thing about the Olympics is we were the first family business to be awarded the Olympic contract. And it was my brother who I work with who actually won us the contract, and I was in charge of all the sourcing and production. But because he helped us win the contract, he got to run with the Olympic torch when it came to Scotland. So that's my brother with the torch. And then we're also a family business. That's my dad, that's my brother, Olympic gold medalist for the UK. And I'm never in any of these photos because I'm always the one in China doing the work, while they take all the credit. But then this is a deal that we did with the United Nations. This was for 300,000 roll mats, and it was disaster relief. So we won the bid because we were able to deliver it at the best price and as fast as possible. So not only, I know that lead times are very, very important for your business, for out of stocks and things like that. So not only should you be focusing on the product, the price, and the quality, but also the lead times as well, because off Amazon it can land you some pretty big contracts as well. I also do some work with the NBA. This is one of my favorite products. This is a lay or play blanket where kids can go to sleep dreaming that they are their favorite athlete. So we're not selling like blanket, we're selling dreams. Kids can go to sleep dreaming that they can be like their favorite player. Steph Curry is also a partner in our company. called Active Dreamers, which we supply the NBA with. He goes, I'm proud to be part of a brand whose goal is to inspire the youth to dream bigger. Active Dreamers and I want every kid across the world to know that dreams come true. We also get a lot of players to post with the products, and then on social media we have some giveaways, which he gives us signed jerseys, basketballs, stuff like that, and then he also posts it on his own Instagram. So when he posted, we got almost like 500,000 likes, which gave us a huge spike in sales. And then as a result, that's me in the factory making the goods last year. And then luckily I got to hang out with the players and go to the NBA Finals, and that was me and Steph and Kevin Durant and all that. But I show this because I always believe that you have to be the absolute best at what you do. I don't like to half-ass anything, so if I'm going into something, I'm going in to be the absolute best. And I think the common theme here is, working with the Olympics, United Nations, a lot of retailers, NBA guys, it just comes down to a common theme of being able to get the best products and the best prices out of China, which is what I'm going to talk about today. Oh, and also we've got some cool stuff with Neymar going on, which we're going to launch quite soon, that we got as a result of the NBA stuff. The deal we have with Neymar is that he's going to give us 12 social media posts, 10 on Facebook, 2 on Instagram, and he's got 114 million followers. So if 1% of his following purchase a product, that's over 1 million units, which is pretty cool. And then this is me in the factory actually making the products, which I'm going to talk about in a little bit more detail later on as well, the importance of actually making your items yourself. So let's get to the fun part, China. So this is one of my favorite photos. This is Shanghai 1990 compared to 2010. And what you can take from this is what was just grassland before is one of the biggest financial centers in the world now. So what does that tell you? China is changing and growing at an incredible rate, and it's the same in the factories as well. So you have to be in tune with what's going on to take advantage of that. So what are some of these changes? Well, I'm going to go through this really quickly because I want to try and get as much done in the 20 minutes that I've got left, but you will have access to these slides so you can go back and check it. But raw material costs are going up, labor costs are going up, there's a growing domestic market within China, so the factories are kind of looking after a domestic market as opposed to their export market. There's been a growth in the middle class and a lot of increased income. As a result, Chinese people desire a lot more Western goods, so you see KFCs, Pizza Huts, Starbucks popping up. And why is that important? Well, people go to work in a Starbucks rather than a factory, so the workforce is becoming a lot more aging. It's becoming a lot harder to find good workers, so factories are moving more and more inland, so you have to travel further to find the best factories. There's also a lot of government regulations where a factory can just get shut down because of the pollution levels, something completely out with your control. And also exchange rates. Do you know you can make an incredible amount of savings just by monitoring exchange rates? And I'll show you how. So this is a graph of the dollar to Chinese RMB. So in May 2018, $1 was 6.25 RMB, and then in November, $1 was 6.95 RMB. That's a 0.7 change in RMB, which is about 10%. So let's say your purchase order value to your supplier, you paid them $100,000 for an order in May and $100,000 for an order in November. As a result of the exchange rate changing, they've made an extra 70,000 RMB was the difference. They've made an extra $10,000 just on the exchange rate. Now, when you want to get lower prices, don't try and change the product and try and negotiate different things. Just monitor the exchange rate and say, hey, I know that based on the times that I've paid you, you've made an extra $10,000. Let's work in a partnership here. If you can pass on some of those savings to me, I can offer lower prices to my customers. Lower prices equals more orders, more sales for me makes more orders for you, so we both win. You're always trying to convince your manufacturer that you're working in a partnership together, but just monitor the exchange rate carefully, and then you can benefit from that. So a lot of Amazon sellers always ask me, should I visit China? Where do I get the best results? Should I use Alibaba? Should I go to China? Where do I sit? And I sort of categorize it in 3 different stages. I think you have to think of it as beginner, intermediate, and advanced, and you have to know what stage you are at your own business. Absolutely, when you start, you have to start through Alibaba, global sources. A lot of people talk about 1688. I don't like using that platform, and but I don't have enough time to go into it, but I would just stick to these 2 websites. This is a great starting point, because obviously when you're testing different things, you want to see what works. You don't necessarily have the time to go to China and develop products when you don't know what's going to hit. But when you've established your business, and once you have a product that is selling, and you have a real business, and then you want to get the best results, you want the best prices and the best factories, Alibaba is great for that. But if you want to get the best results, I believe you also have to go to China to get to the next stage of your business.